Hello, Amanda from the Nina here, and I am here with this week's Nina Art Challenge. We're going to learn a technique called Sgraffito. This is how it's spelled. Sgraffito. So it's like if you take the S off, graffito, but with an S in front. So it's pronounced Sgraffito. And what that means in Italian is to scratch. So Sgraffito is a really interesting mixed media technique that we can use for decorating, adding different layers to our work. And the way that it works basically is you have two different layers of some sort of art medium. So I've seen it happen a lot in ceramics, where you might put a layer of colored clay or underglaze on top of your normal colored clay, let it dry a little bit, and then scratch it away to see the difference in the color underneath. It can also happen with acrylic paint, different layers. So let's say you have some paint on a canvas and it's dry, and then you paint over it again. You can scratch away the color so that you see what's underneath. So Sgraffito is a mixed media technique that we can use to do some really cool stuff. What's going on in this picture right now, before I do any work on it, is this background here, the color, everything except for the black is done with colored pencil. So I've spent some time doing some doodling, some blending, making some patterns, and just filling in the background of my picture. So that took a little while, and then I went over it. This is black oil pastel. So we know that oil pastel, it's quite smudgy, right? So I can smudge it and it will move around. So what I can do to accomplish a Sgraffito technique is I can take a sharp tool. So this is actually from my kitchen. It's used for making a turkey. This is a big sewing needle. So you just need something with a sharp point on it, a toothpick, anything along those lines, a skewer, a knitting needle, anything that has like a fairly sharp tip on it that we can use to draw with, but that's not going to scratch into the surface of my paper. So what we can do once we've got some oil pastel on here is we can use one of these tools and use it to scrape away patterns and colors. As you see, I've just done a little bit there in the O. So we can use our Sgraffito tools to add extra shading, extra detail with our work. Right. So I'm using my little sharp tool to scratch away. And you can kind of see the colors underneath as well. So you can see how this might be a really useful little tool, a little technique for bringing extra detail and interesting things to your work. So you could experiment with some Sgraffito at home with oil pastel and pencil crayons. Enjoy!